It's Brian Preston, the Money Guy.
Curtis said, does it make sense to contribute to your 401k if there is no match, but all other bases have covered? For reference, I'm saving 30% of my net pay overall, maxing out Roth, and contributing to an individual account. So we know, Brian, not all 401ks are created equal. Some of them have very poor investment options. They're poorly diversified. They have really expensive internal operating expenses. So if that's the case, I have one of those 401ks and I don't get any match, right? I don't get any free money. Should I just avoid it altogether? Or are there reasons or are there times when I should still even utilize a 401k because the nature of the type of account that it is?
Curtis, this is once again, I love that with the financial order of operations, it's very confirming for me when once again, you throw a curveball of most 401ks, your employer's going to give you 50 cents on the dollar or dollar for dollar matching. Curtis throws us the curveball of his employer. I don't know if his golf buddy or whoever designed this thing wasn't fully maximizing it. It just exists. It doesn't give all the benefits. Does this blow everything up? That's why I love that the financial order of operations is kind of an all-terrain vehicle. Mm-hmm. It doesn't care because let's look at this. I'm holding up the resource. You can go to moneyguy.com/resources. This is the free deliverable. This is not, now if you want the course, the full deep dive, it's learn.moneyguy.com. But you'll notice step 1, deductibles covered. Step 2, employer match. Well, look, there's no employer match on this plan. Just pass on through. Just drive right on over step 2. You get to 3, high interest debt. We want to knock out the credit cards, anything else like that. Emergency reserves. Roth and HSA. This is primarily talking about your IRA version of the Roth, but it does. 5 and 6 are very much connected because step 6 of the financial order of operations is max out retirement. Now, what if you're an employer plan? Yes, it doesn't have a match, but what if they offer a Roth tax-free option in that Roth 401k? My goodness, still take advantage of it because that's a tremendous tax-free saving opportunity. If you're in your 20s or 30s, your 50 and 60-year-old self will want to give you the biggest, sloppiest bear hug with, wet tears on your shoulder dripping down because you're so excited for yourself. Don't miss out just because your employer has not maximized the opportunity. It's the same thing because he brought up, what if there's no match? We have plans that come our way where they're just not great funds. The investment choices are below what we'd like. You don't have index funds. You don't have good diversification options. That advice still holds up if the power of the financial order of operations, you got to take advantage of all the government incentives that have been put out there to create your financial success.
Yeah, maybe you're someone who's in a higher tax bracket, you're a higher income person, but the company you're at doesn't have a fantastic 401k. If every dollar you put in the pre-tax portion of your 401k will save you 25, 30, 35% in taxes, man, that'll cover a lot of poor fees or a lot of poor investment returns. So what I would argue that you ought to do is if you are on one of those plans that's not fantastic, be an advocate for your own change. Talk to your employer, talk to your supervisor, talk to your manager. Say, hey, what can we do to get some low-cost index funds? What can we do to go to a low-cost provider? What can we do to add Roth 401k option? And you may be amazed that it's just been out of sight, out of mind. They haven't thought about it, haven't put any time into it. And if you say, you know what, I'd love for us to have a better 401k, and I'll spearhead the initiative, you might be amazed that you can be the change agent that changes it for yourself as well as for all of your colleagues as well.
Yeah, I had a friend ask me because their spouse gets their check refunded to them every year. Because, the way the plans, anybody who's highly compensated, you want to do a salary deferral, but at the end of the year, you get a check coming. I'm always like, why? Go to a safe harbor plan. Maybe your employer has not modernized. They're still under the old, traditional rules that required that, highly compensated after you fail the testing. There are new modern plans that will allow you to maximize. Be an advocate, just like Bo shared, for your plan because maybe your employer just doesn't know any better. There are, just like America is not very good with being a financial mutant and understanding. We know 80% of the public is horrible with their personal finances. Unfortunately, your boss might be one of the 80%. Even though they might have a lot of income coming in, doesn't mean they're good with money. You could be the agent of change that helps that.
I love it.